Greetings and peace. Sabbath day word. Christianity is a walking contradiction. The churches are what I call spiritual trap houses. And the reason why I say this, and I grew up in the Christian church. I'm not bitter or scorned. I didn't have a bad breakup. I still believe in the Bible and I believe on Christ. And that's why I'm saying this. Because non-denominational or denominational Christianity doesn't follow the Bible circumspectly. They're not establishing the commandments of God in light of Christ or in light of the testimony of Christ. And that is the only way to be redeemed out of this world. That's the only way to be saved, is to establish the commandments and to have the testimony of Christ. What we have with the Christian church is them mixing the traditions of men or the traditions of Gentiles, what the scriptures call leaven or error, and they mix it with the teachings of Christ. And that's a stretch for me to even say the teachings of Christ, because what I realized over years of attending different churches and studying the doctrines is that they often brush over many of Christ's teachings, things that he actually said from his own mouth. But yet, we'll go so far to get someone to be saved, to understand that they need to be saved and redeemed from their sin, that they need atonement. But yet, as soon as they make that confession, we turn around and tell them, I'm talking about out of the Christian churches, that, oh yeah, those commandments, you don't really have to worry about them. The whole message was that we were breaking the commandments and we needed an atonement. And we can still sin after Christ, meaning that the commandments have to still be valid if we can still sin. They just can't be done away with. Even Christ himself said, think not that I've come to destroy the law or the prophets. So the leaven and error that's mixed with the teachings of Christ in the Christian church, that produces untruth. That leads to a spirit of darkness, of being blind to the real righteousness of God, because the traditions of men make the law of God of none effect in people's lives. Those commandments are still valid. We still have to establish them. That's why Paul said, is the law done away with? God forbid. We established the law. The ordinances that were against us were that if you committed certain type of sin, you got killed back then. There was no opportunity for grace or amendment of our ways. But through Christ, now we have grace to correct ourselves. We cannot mix Christmas, Easter, Halloween, Sunday worship with Christ. He had no dealings with that. That has nothing to do with him. Those are traditions of Gentiles. And we know that the scripture says the Gentiles sacrificed to devils. They were blind. They were vain. They didn't know what they were doing. Look into some of the origins of those things. Have nothing to do with Christ. Their root has nothing to do with the Bible. But here comes Christianity wanting to repackage them as something good. They always want to put Christ in something he's not a part of, to make it seem like there's some good in it. They give a PG and a G version to the world and to their congregation, to draw people into something good, right? Well, they're drawing people into untruths. You can't draw people into a mixed message. That's not going to produce light. That's not going to produce a breaking away from the ties of this world, which keeps people in darkness. We're in a time where knowledge is increasing. I have to strengthen the truth that's out there because it came to my life. It's come to my attention that these things are incorrect. And speaking prophetically, the Most High, the Creator, the Great Spirit, is only going to protect those who establish his commandments and keep the testimony of Christ. He's not going to protect Christians who are saying that laws are done away with, that we can have Sunday worship but not establish the Sabbath day, the seventh day, which is a holy day. And there's a reason why he said, remember that day, because he knew we were going to forget it. See, in some churches I have one part right and have another part wrong, like Seventh-day Adventists. Love that they go hard for the Sabbath day. But we can't keep those other holy days. We can't keep the holy days of the world. We can't mix these things up. And ultimately, this is about love. Some Christians are doing this, pastors are doing this ignorantly. Some are doing it knowingly. And God's going to judge them. But we're in a time where the Creator is not going to let us be in ignorance no more. It's not going to be an in-between. We're in this mixed up gray area. That doesn't exist. It's going to be His way, or it's going to be us coming up with something out of our own mind to justify why we're doing something against the order of God. And you know what that is? That's Luciferianism. That's doing what you want to do. That's why I often say modern Christianity, and it's been like this for generations, is just a PG version of Luciferianism. It cleans up the idea of doing what you want, but just masks it over with Christ or the message of the Bible. Just picking and choosing scriptures, however. They're not establishing the Bible circumspectly. So, again, we have to let go of these traditions. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Christ told us to beware that no man deceive us. Many will come to him, not a few. Many Christians will come to Christ, and he's going to reject them and say, I don't know you. Why were you putting that on me? That had nothing to do with me. We're in that time now. We're in a time of awakening where we're not going to be permitted to be in ignorance that has been here for generations. We will have to make a separation. And if we don't, there will be no protection for us. And great confusion is going to hit many Christians in these times ahead of us. Because ultimately it's about love, it's about hate. Do we love the Creator in what He showed us through His Son? If we do, we separate. And that's about love. You know, this is a correction and really a rebuke and a call out of the Christian church, because a lot of these pastors don't have a backbone. But the ones that are doing it ignorantly, we have an opportunity to amend our ways. And that's a blessing. It's a good thing to say, you know what, I was wrong. We're doing this wrong. But what makes it difficult for a lot of us is we're going to get rejected. Separation is going to come. People will leave you. Right? But that's the blessing. That's what Christ told us about. The world will reject us, especially when we stop flowing with it. We can't flow with the world anymore. That's the knowledge increasing in the times that we're living in. We cannot continue to flow with the world. We can't flow with what they're doing. You can't flow with Halloween and create a fall festival on the same day that Halloween is being celebrated, because now we're giving our energy to what the left-hand side is doing behind the scenes. And they don't play games. Like, they're not doing some PG version of their holiday. They're sacrificing to devils. Christmas, Easter, the same thing. Sunday worship, Easter sunrise services. None of that's biblical. The word that was in the scriptures was Passover. Christ is the Passover, the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. He can't be mixed with any error of men. And when he's mixed with error of men, that's not him. And when we hold to that error, that's when he tells us, get away from me, I don't know you. I just wanted to put this out there. It's an opportunity for us to correct ourselves. And this the time that we're in. Knowledge is increasing, and we're going to have to amend our ways. He is a guide and a protector of those who keep the commandments and the testimony of Christ. That's how we make it. Peace.